I wanted to call this the dark side of discipline, and I feel I'm going to have like multiple parts of this particular subject, but the dark side, why I labeled it that, I feel I've been making videos when I talk about discipline, and even when I see it online, I'm like, it's way too soft. That's not, I'm softening it up when I make the video, because that's not the reality, right? And for starters, I was just grouping everything into, oh, I'm just disciplined. I'm just a disciplined person. And I was like, no, let's, that's why I journal, guys. I have a journal, and when these thoughts come to me, I do take time to just write it, not to put it in my phone. I mean, if I have to put it in my phone, I will, but I do enjoy, there's a certain connection that you get when you just write it out. So I was just really starting to write about, is my discipline just what carries this whole thing? While that is a requirement, and we're going to get to why it's the dark side, it's what are you willing to pay the cost of whatever it is that you're trying to do, become, strive for. The version that I'm trying to get to, what is the cost to get there? And then now my discipline comes into play because I'm willing to put in the necessary sacrifice time. Whatever the cost is, my discipline is where now it's going to become crazy, and I'm willing to put the work. But it's the will. It's the willingness, even if that's the word, if that's a word. The will to do it, the self-belief to say, I'm going to make it happen. All of those things start coming into play. And then when you realize what discipline starts to look like, it doesn't look pretty. It's not going to be pretty. You start to realize things that may have been your identity. This is me, this is what I do. Well, you might have to let go of that. Let's go beyond just, oh, you're not going out on the weekends and all of this. Let's go deeper, right? That's the obvious stuff. Yeah, you're gonna have to start staying in more and working on what you gotta work on. Yes, we all know that. But what happens when it gets deeper than that? What happens when, hey, no matter what's going on in your life, losing people, you're missing birthdays, missing this, missing that, you have some decisions to make. Does that take me off the course? Can I sacrifice this time? Do I want to sacrifice this time? Or do you want to be selfish? And whether you think selfish is good or bad, in the context, that's up to you. But all of these things, you start battling yourself, you start having these real conversations with yourself because you start to understand this road is going to be rough. Far too many times I see videos on discipline and they're trying to, and I'm guilty of it too, trying to cram the whole point into 1 minute and we're, making sure the edits are this. But when that video is done, what my discipline looks like, it doesn't look like that. And I'm not saying I wish it was any other way, because the interesting part, and this is the cost is going to be for me, hey, your biggest changes, because I see it happens in every area that I wanted to improve and get better and strive for. It was a big roadblock that put me on my ass. Something has to happen where it truly makes me wake up and, wow, life is real. Things that you never wished for, you didn't wish would happen. And you still have to stay on your course. That's the sacrifice. You have to sacrifice a piece of yourself. That's where the discipline comes into play, because you know where you're going. Wow, all these things are going on. And I'm giving just multiple scenarios and examples, but each person is going to have their fork in the road where you're going to have to make some decisions where you are going to be faced with the question, all right, do I really want this? And the choice that you make, the external version of it, you might come across as the selfish one, the this. What's his problem? It's more important. You'll hear it. But you are the only one who knows the steps that it's going to take for you to get there. That's why I've said before, I said in numerous videos, I don't necessarily want things to become easier. I just want to become stronger. Because my discipline has gotten so hardcore, so refined, because of all I can go back of the setbacks, and real hardcore setbacks, where it's like, hey, you still have to stay locked into what you're doing. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to sacrifice that? It's not going to be pretty. There's going to be times where you might want to give up and throw your hands up. You're going to be at those crossroads. But the point that I'm making with all of this is, for me, the biggest changes, the biggest lessons, everything that I learned, it came from when I thought I couldn't do it. And even during, it's like, yeah, I know I have the self-belief, and I know I have this, and I know I have the confidence, but you're still like, wow, this is a lot. This is powerful. I don't know if I can get through this one. But you have to work through it. You have to, if you really want this thing. I feel like discipline, it's not fun. Because that means we're not truly challenging ourselves enough. If discipline was easy, like, oh, I just have to eat this and pick up that, I'll just go here, that's okay. It's just a routine. No. The discipline is going to be challenged. You're really going to know yourself when you have that routine. Now, let me just throw every problem at you. Every wrench, I'm just going to throw it into the machine and see how you handle it. Are you going to fold? The minute it gets difficult, you know what? I give up on this. Let me go back to what I was doing. And you're just going to be miserable there. But I had just this will. And it's just, what I have done and what I do. The cameras, all of it, it was just this will. And it goes deeper also, guys. Like, for example, the cameras, obviously I love tech, I love cameras, I love lenses, I love the tech behind it. But a deeper reason why I got into it was I wanted to be able to tell my own story, and I wanted to be able to tell other people's stories unedited. I don't want it to shape a narrative that fits some ulterior motive or fits a bigger agenda. That's why I got into cameras like that. And I said to myself, all right, I'm going to sacrifice what I need to do to learn this. Working on the business, I'm going to have to sacrifice. Working on myself, that I could become that version that we should all have of our heads. Like, what's that next version? What does that look like? What does it cost? What does it require? What are the steps? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to sacrifice? And then also, I'm curious. That's another thing. That's probably for another video. I never lost my curiosity. I think as we get older, if we're not careful, we can lose that. When we're kids, we're just a bit of naive. We don't know the world, but we're just willing to go. We don't have the influences from outside sources now swaying our decisions and things like that. We were just curious individuals who just wanted to explore. And I lost that. We all kind of lose it, but I got it back. Continue to work on it, but curious in a sense of, I want to see how far we can go, how far we can take it, how far we can take the channel. Like, let's just see how far this thing can go. I'm curious, what if I did bet on myself? You know what? Yeah, I'm that curious, and I have that much will that the cost that I have to make, all right, I guess I have to elevate my discipline to stay on course. And willing to say, it's going to lose. I know what's going to happen with this. I know I'm going to lose a lot of people. I know I'm going to lose this. I know I'm going to lose a piece of me. But I know that greater purpose, what I'm trying to do, I guess it has to be done. So, but then, with that, comes now the confidence and the receipts. So it's not all just, hey, it's going to be in a life of darkness, but the greatest changes and the greatest shifts came from disruption, came from when things went wrong And maybe the old systems didn't work, and now we need something different. We just need a new perspective. So many different things. My biggest changes came from my biggest challenges. And it's crazy. So at the end of the day, would I say, you know what? Would I change it? From the decisions I had to make, sacrifices I had to make, people I've lost, it's a tough question, because that has given me, now of course, I understood like, hey, this is rough, but this could be like one of my biggest changes, biggest lessons. You have to have that awareness, and I had to have awareness to really look at a deeper level of what's going on and start to see the pattern. But that's one of my costs. And I kind of understood it, not early on, but I started to see what was happening. I was like, okay. Man, the biggest lessons is usually when I have the biggest shift, the biggest trajectory change. It's like a stock. It's like, yeah, we're gonna have a little drop. We're not gonna drop to where we initially started, then we just keep on going. I don't know why I had to use that stock reference, but you get what I'm saying. So just understand, it's going to get dark. It's going to get rough, but that's what you need. So thought I shared that with you guys. I won't hold you up. We got more on the way. Let's go.